Alright guys, basically what we have here is a Smith & Wesson 40, notorious for the hard trigger pull. This is going to also be the review for the Smith & Wesson 9. Basically what we're going to do here is go ahead and upgrade the spring, take out the pigtail spring. Those two components are going to lighten this trigger pull up substantially. We're also going to go ahead and get the graininess out of this trigger by going ahead and sanding some parts that I'm going to show you later on in this video. So first things first, let's get it unloaded. Nothing in there, so let's go ahead and take off this slide. What you're going to do is pull back with your right hand, pull on this on both sides, keep it down while releasing, keep on pressing down, go ahead and press the trigger. It should slide right on off. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this pin back here. I've actually already removed it, sorry guys. So basically you're just going to take a nice small screwdriver. This is all you're going to need this whole entire time to go ahead and repair this. So push that on through, grab that, and put it over to the side. Alright, the next thing's next. Let's go ahead and remove this trigger bracket back here. Basically, how I like to do it, best way of doing it, go ahead and press this trigger on down. You can either pull up on this piece right here, or you can go ahead and stick your finger all the way down there where the magazine goes and press up, and this is going to slide right out, and it should pop right on out. We're going to go ahead and put this to the side. This is all we're going to be working on the next about 15-20 minutes here. I'm going to tell you to go ahead and use something like I'm using, a white sheet. Make sure you keep all your parts together. Just keep them organized. There's probably about 6 or 7 parts that can get lost, so make sure you keep yourself organized. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, so here's the little piece that we're going to be working on. This is what's giving us all the issues. We're going to get down into the mechanics, and I'll let you know what's going on here. First things first, let's take off this piece. Easy enough, should come right off of there. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip this over. So we're looking at this caliper, and you see that's going to go down. You're going to see a pig spring down here. We're going to want to go ahead and remove that as well. To remove this, we're going to go ahead, take off this, or excuse me, put through this screwdriver through this pin here. This is one of 3 pins that we're going to be taking out. So make sure you give this a little compression so nothing goes flying off. Poke this on through, like so. This is going to drop out. Go ahead and release a little bit, and this is going to slide on through here. You're going to see this little pigtail spring, which is going to fall out. No big deal. That's what we want to take out in the first place. We're not going to be replacing it. Put it over to the side. Keep it if you like. Toss it if you don't. This is the bar that we just took out. Let's put that over to the side. This is the stay that we had, so let's put that over to the side. It's just a plastic piece. Alright, next thing's next. We're going to be taking out these 2 pins right here. These are going to slide out. We're going to take one out at a time. The first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and take out this spring, this top spring right up here, and basically push that on down through here. Be very careful that you don't go and let go of this. You want to keep that like so. That's not a problem. This fell out, no big deal. If it doesn't, then just go ahead. We're just going to pop this one out too. No big deal. That's going to go flying off, hopefully not too far. Keep that over to the side. So the first pin that we took out is this longest one, which goes up top here. Let's go ahead and put that over to the side. This second thing that we took out was this smaller pin of the 2. All right, and this is the next part that we took out. What we're looking at is the inner spring and the outer spring. Outer spring is the one that we're going to be replacing with the upgraded spring. The next thing I'm going to show you is going to be the sanding of these parts that Smith & Wesson for some odd reason didn't sand on down. So let me go ahead and discuss that a little bit. Basically what I did was I sanded this side, the opposite side, and this groove inside of it right here. And it was kind of blocky before, but it was kind of grainy as well over here. I just took a nail file and sanded it on down. If you want to polish it with a Dremel, whatever you want, just go ahead and get that roughness out of it so it's pretty smooth. You also want to go ahead and sand down the inside of both of these sides in between where the the springs are. So this side and this side. If you want to sand down the outside, that's not a problem, but this is what we're mainly focusing on. These parts right here that are connecting. And once you sand that down, when you're pulling the trigger, before it's pretty grainy, but now it's going to be pretty gosh darn smooth. So if you want to sand this down to as smooth as you possibly can, that's awesome. It took me about 30-40 minutes to go ahead and do that. While you're in here, you might as well get it all knocked out. Alright guys, the next step that we're going to be doing is replacing the spring. We're going to take out this outer spring, keep this inner spring inside of it, and replace it with our new spring right there. So basically this is going to easily come out. Just come on and bring it out like so. Place that over to the side. I kept it just so we have it, just in case I want to build it back to stock. Basically we're going to grab our new spring that we have here and slide it around the thinner spring. No big deal, easy peasy. So now we have the setup looking like so, and we're going to put back on this piece. This is going to be the most difficult part. Let's get our parts ready. We're going to have our second pin that we took out. It's going to be the longest one. Our last pin that we took out, this top caliper here, and as well as this part. So once we've replaced the spring with our upgraded spring, remember we still have that inside spring still in there. So this is what we're going to be doing. This is how I like to set it up. So one thing to notice is, I'm going to try to get this on camera, this little groove facing this way, this part needs to go on just like so. So this is going to be flipped around like so, and this is going to go on like that. Now remember, you can put it on the other way with this facing the other way, but it just won't fit into this plastic piece all that well, and you don't want to do that. So basically this little notch right here is facing that way. This little notch, kind of a bigger notch, is facing the other way. Make sure it's that way, and make sure that you have it my way when you're about to put these pins in. Okay. So the next spring, the first pin that we want to put in is going to be the smaller one. Okay. And the smaller pin, as well as the larger pin, has a smaller side and a fatter side. The smaller side it's very tiny, but that's the side that's going to go in first. The fatter side is going to be the one that we're pushing on. So let's go ahead and try this. This is going to be the most difficult part. Line up your springs with this inner, I guess, cup right there. So let's line up the inner spring with that, like so. And basically we're going to have to compress this top part to be able to squeeze in this little pin. So put your pressure down, try to keep it constant, and put that pin in there until it's flush with the other side. Now that you have this in just like so, let's go ahead and put this other pin in. Again, the thinner, smaller side is going to go in first, and we're going to go ahead and press that down again, and then go ahead and push that on through until it's flush. That actually went on pretty easy. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the same for you guys. But go ahead and give this a try. Keep on replaying this as you saw it. Remember to keep pressure on this. Go ahead and put the pins in. Alright, once that hard part is done, the rest is pretty easy. We're just going to put everything back together. But one thing I do want to remind you guys of is to go ahead and take a look at the spring. Make sure you keep your finger around that, because I think that guy just wants to call out. Make sure you look at the spring. Make sure that middle spring is not sticking out of the outer spring. Make sure it's straight on. The outer spring is totally free of the inner spring. If you do have the inner spring sticking out, it's just not going to fire right. And just inspect it and make sure everything's fine. But let's go ahead and let's put this back in. First we're going to grab this black piece that we have here. We're going to slide just like so into there. No big deal. This is going to be sticking out. This is how it's going to look. Alright, so let's keep this right here. We're going to grab our last pin that we have, and we're just going to even these up and slide that on. And that's going to be that. Alright, let's finish this up. So basically you're going to have this black piece. Let's flip it over to where we're looking at, just like this curvature facing me. Let's go ahead and put this piece on over here. This is going to slide. This is actually going to meet up with this hole, so we can actually put that pin mount back on through there, and it's going to hold this whole section in back there. This is going to be facing that way. You're going to see an H and an E. We're going to go ahead and put this back together. The easiest way to put this back into the stock here is we're going to go ahead and look at this pin right here, and we're going to line it up with this groove right in here, slide it in like so, and then meet it flush with the magazine down there, and it's going to slide right in. Give it a couple squeezes, everything should sit nice and securely. Go ahead and put this pin in right back here, and this is all going to be secure. You're going to notice the difference immediately when you start pulling this trigger, how smooth it is instead of that graininess once you sand down those two pieces that we were talking about. So let's go ahead and pull this back. And there you go. You've got it. I mean, you're going to notice the pull is that much more lighter. The pull is a lot smoother, and once you take it to the range, you'll notice the difference. About this spring, I'm actually selling this spring. It took me about 3 or 4 tries to get the right spring. I shot about 1,000 rounds through this one. This is the best spring. I had no issues with this ones. The other ones were a little bit longer, some were a little bit shorter, some were a little bit fatter, some a little bit too thin to actually put in there. This is the best spring that I've shot with, and it makes this gun that much more enjoyable to shoot. Go ahead and comment, give me any questions that you have, and visit my eBay page if you'd like to purchase the spring. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this is a more self-explained tutorial than the rest of the guys. Have a good one, guys.